All right, everybody, welcome out to another episode of Windshield Time at Mountainland Supply. I'm Joey. I'm here with James Calvert, a.k.a. Gallagher.
Gallagher's coming, evolving.
We're joined by Spencer the Talent Shorts.
Yeah, that's me, the talent.
We decided that Shorts is the talent behind this podcast. He's also doesn't even have a face for radio.
No, he doesn't. I was going to use that joke on him, but
He's a decent looking dude.
Yeah, thank you.
I was thinking about this the other day. I think we might have like a producer reveal coming up.
Oh.
For those who don't know what Spencer looks like.
You want me on camera?
Wait for the Christmas special.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that would be good.
That's a little
That'd be
Christmas
fun.
gift.
Yeah.
All right.
Will you wear something other than black skinny jeans?
No.
Like a Santa costume.
I got to give people the real me.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if anybody can handle the real
Okay,
you,
no.
dude.
We'll see on Christmas, I guess.
Yeah, we will. All right. So today we got James in here. We're going to be talking about pricing, how to protect our company and our customers at the same time. James has been working on really the pricing in the back end of the system for Mountainland for freaking ever.
Long time.
I remember when we first went to the new system in 2012,
Yeah.
2011?
Somewhere in there. Yeah.
that was a monumental task because we had to bring in all the old pricing, and like right at the 11th hour, they told us that all of our old matrixing wouldn't work, so we had to put in a bunch of new matrixing. You remember that? That sucked.
It was a mess.
Yeah, that sucked.
And I think you were still in sales at that time, but
I was.
We were suffering profitability wise, and anyway, had a conversation, and we really hadn't put any attention into the matrix on the new system.
Yeah.
Assumed a bunch of it had just transferred over, which it had not, and we were giving away margin like crazy. So, at that time, I locked myself in a room for about 3 months, and worked on it. And then Chris McGarry jumped in and did a ton of work because he's a nerd, if you guys don't know. But
Geeked out.
he did an awesome job. And then we managed that pricing system up till just when did we go to contracts? 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Then we switched over on the contract pricings where we could manage it by vertical with the vertical sales managers managing it. So that's where it stands today. The different vertical sales managers manage their vertical under a contract assigned to a customer.
So what a lot of people out there may not realize is that basically every single item that comes into the company has to be given a sell cost.
Right.
That sell cost is either determined by the manufacturer or by us, and sometimes both.
Right.
And then we can, in most cases, set up pricing tiers based on volume discounts, loyalty discounts, region discounts, all that sort of thing.
Yep.
So the work on the back end for pricing is enormous. And
we've only got how many SKUs we got?
27,000, something like that.
I think it's like
70,000.
It's like
70,000,
something like that. And
you heard it here first.
So should be we should have a contest.
We should.
Guess how many? Well, then McGarry just go look it up and tell us.
Shorts would have to look it up for us in real time.
But it is. It's a lot with price increases and stuff that we constantly have to be updating.
I bet it's even more than that now. Because that was 70,000 was back when we hadn't even added Geo, we hadn't added power equipment, we hadn't added most of our tools and safety.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a ton of data that has to be put into the back end. Some of that is provided by the manufacturers. Some of that is like trade data that comes into the system. But most of it is created on our end based upon our purchase prices. And then we have to determine where a street price is, right?
Right.
Based on market data and what we can get out of it.
Right.
So the hardest part about any company in general is having pricing discipline and not allowing yourself to drift on your pricing. So, for instance, if somebody comes into your store and you're selling them a bowl wax for a toilet, and you're selling it for 89 cents. And they say, well, I can get it across the street for 86 cents. And somebody, a counter salesperson, inside salesperson, whomever says, all right, 86 cents. Well, then the next person that goes into the system and looks at history says, oh, 86 cents. I've been selling them at 88 cents. I better knock it down because I don't want to look foolish in front of my customer.
Right.
And that's how it starts, is just one person responding to maybe even BS feedback.
Right.
And then it just slowly slips and slips and slips. And before you know it, your profitability is completely lost. And we operate on tiny margins anyway. At the end of the year, if we're above 6% net profit, we're doing great, right?
Right.
So for every dollar that goes out of this place, if we get to recoup 6 pennies, we're fat and happy.
Yeah. Do you remember Brent doing that demonstration for us back when he was here?
Yeah, tell him about it.
Yeah, he'd take the dollar bill and he'd rip it. Like, all right, that much goes to here, this much goes to, personnel and operations and this and that. And it got down to just a little corner of a dollar. He's like, and we work hard for that little
much.
piece, which is why changing pricing, even if you think it's the smallest amount, is such a big deal because it's a ripple effect, like you said, and people can go in and see where somebody's at or this or that. But, man, it's something that the sales managers are tasked to manage and put into that contract, and it's why it's so important for nobody to touch that pricing without a conversation.
Right. And that's why we're saying with a conversation because, at the very first we said we want it to benefit the customer and the company.
Oh, it's got to.
We don't want to be the low price leader. We don't want to be the cheapest on the street on every single thing. We also don't want to be hurting our customers' ability to go to their market because we're too high priced.
Right.
Because we're in this as a partnership. We both need to make money at the end of the day or both of us lose.
Yep.
So,
yeah, and we have, like, our sales managements in the different verticals, I'll put them up against anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
We have the very best people. They're in tune with their verticals. They know where the pricing structure needs to be. Our sales guys are good. Like, we are bringing back feedback all the time and dialing stuff in. Now, do we miss something? Absolutely. So, and that's why I say without feedback, because if you guys see something out of line or you feel is out of line or you get message back from a customer like, dude, that is way out of line, bring that stuff back. We'll get it dialed in. We'll get it right. But outside of a conversation, please do not touch pricing.
It's really hard, especially I remember when I first got to the sales counter, and I think I've mentioned it on this show before, the jump from any position onto the sales counter is the biggest jump you'll ever have in learning curve.
Yep.
Because you go from, usually it's a process that's kind of behind the scenes, and if you screw up, you have time to fix it, right? If I screw up and I pull the wrong item, somebody's going to find it later down the line, and it's usually not going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
If I screw up in front of that customer, then I get to wear that all day, right?
Yeah, that is probably the most embarrassed I was ever in my career because I got thrown on to the counter pretty early and I didn't know crap,
Yeah.
Come right, thinking you know something, like, dude, look at you like, yeah, you have no clue, dude.
Yeah. And then they give you the industry lingo and you don't understand it. So you're like, anybody, what's a J hook? Somebody tell me what a J hook is, I remember even like tube talons. Everybody had a different name for tube talons or isolators. Everybody had a different name for that. Yeah. So, but along with that learning curve of just the product and then having to engage with a customer, the difference between a plumber and his knowledge base versus a new counter salesperson trying to sell that plumber a part, that gap is huge. So you're easily manipulated or easily pushed into thinking that person across the counter from you is the authority.
Right.
So when they tell you, hey, it's not 88 cents for a bowl wax, it's 86 cents, Yahtzee, brother. There you go. It's only 2 cents, and you're right. Customer's right. For the most part, I would say most of the time that customer is doing that just to test you. And if all you say is, you know what, dude, I don't control the pricing. I just put stuff from one place to another place. I take it from one bag, put it in another bag. If you can just avoid that conversation altogether and say, you know what, just ask the manager, ask the salesman.
Bring it up to your salesman.
Yep.
get it dialed in with your sales guy. We can do a credit rebill if it's legit.
If it's wrong, we'll take care of it.
Yeah, we'll always take care of it.
But make sure, or even take that burden from them and say, hey, you know what? If you want me to, I'll talk to your salesman about it. And then you can ask the salesman, hey, so-and-so says that, you're 2 cents high on bull waxes, and the salesman's going to tell you, no, I'm not.
Right.
But at least it absolves you of having that liability. Like, hey, I ran it past your salesman. Now it's your turn.
Yeah.
You go bug him about it. Most of the time they're not going to, because the salesman may be able to has a relationship with them enough that they can call them on their BS.
Right.
Like, dude, don't be taking me over for 2 cents on a freaking bull wax.
Yeah, 90% of the time the customer's going to laugh and be like, I thought I'd try.
Yeah.
And
there are legitimate reasons to make profit. We can't put a truck on the road until profit is made. We can't pay benefits to our people until profit's made.
Right. Nothing
happens in this company until something's sold, and nobody benefits until the profit is realized.
Yep.
So everybody it's a collective effort. And if we're on the counter or in a forward-facing position with a customer, even salespeople, protect that golden goose of the company at all costs.
Well, there's different margins for different things. So you might be looking at something and see it at a higher margin, and then it's at a higher margin because there's so much we have to sell at a lower margin that our balance and our goal is to be around 26.
Yeah.
So how do you get that when you're selling large waterworks jobs and the pipe's at 2%?
Right.
Or water heaters going out at 5%. We have to get that balance to 26. So for this company to operate as we need it to, and everybody to, hopefully achieve the full bonus, which is our goal, with 401k match and like you said, everything that goes into operations, that number's around 26%.
Yeah.
And that should be all of our goal, and watch that margin. And we slipped last year. Like our margin slipped about 1.5 points last year, and we felt that.
Right.
And we're working towards getting that back. And we made good progress in Q1, but we're not to where we need to be.
Right.
So we still have some work to do, and we need everybody on board looking for that. Now, are we here to screw our customer? Absolutely not. We are looking for long-term partnerships with our customers. And I told Joey I was going to tell the story of the shearing sheep, because I learned this one as a young inside guy. Had an old plumber years ago when I was an inside guy, and he came in and a competitor, I won't name them, but had screwed him on a PRV. And, back then PRVs were only about $18. And if memory serves me, it was about $38 they had charged him. So he took it in. He knew he'd been overcharged. And they held to their guns. They said, nope, that's the price. He said, okay, what's my balance? They told him his balance. He wrote him a check, paid off his balance, closed his account, and he came straight over to where I was at. And he sat there and he pointed his finger right in my chest. And he said, I'm going to tell you something, and you remember this the rest of your career. You can shear a sheep year after year, but you can only slaughter him once.
Yeah.
And our customers know we have to make money to be here, and we are part of their success. And this is a partnership. What we can't do is take advantage of them. So 26% is about that number that we need. It's not screwing our customer. It's a fair price, and that's where we need to be as a company at Mountainland Supply to achieve the stuff we all want to achieve together.
Yeah. Part of this effort for maintaining pricing discipline is that a lot of roles in the company will not have pricing that's visible to them. Within the system, that will be removed from view. And that's honestly to kind of protect you from those conversations of, hey, how much you guys making on that? Then you can literally tell them, I have no idea. Go talk to your salesperson.
Yeah.
If you don't, we're trying to make it so that you don't have to be in an awkward position. It's not because of trust. It's because we understand what people are going to do to you out there. And we've all been in that situation. I've been on the sales counter before. Brent James has, most of us have. And it's not an easy conversation to have. So we're going to just kind of take those conversations away so you don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, not just on the counter, but inside sales too. And the problem we have is we have so many branches up and down the Wasatch Front in Idaho where customers are going to different stores to pick up the exact same item.
Branch to branch to branch
And
to branch.
if a counter guy changes it at one store and the other one doesn't change it,
Then the customer feels like they've been taken advantage
the
of.
customer's like, well, how come it's this price here and it's not that price there? Because those counter guys aren't talking, or those inside guys aren't talking to each other. The pricing is set by the salesman through the sales manager for a reason. Please do not touch that price. It causes so many issues. When we first started putting plumbing and HVAC together, we had a big problem because a lot of those things were different price. And
Well, they
now
were,
we
being
have them in
purchased from
line.
different vendors.
Yeah, different vendors, different pricing, different matrices. And I feel for the most part we have most of that stuff in line now. It's been a lot of hard work behind the scenes by salesmen, sales managers to get this to where we are today. And we just can't. It causes a lot of issues.
With that being said, if you do see something, say something. If you see something you feel is out of line, call that sales manager over that vertical. Send them a note. Say, hey, I just saw this. Kind of looks out of whack. May want to look at it. Because there are aberrations that happen. There are things that pop up that nobody can foresee. Something's changed somewhere, and one keystroke can jack up an entire product line very easily. Now, we try and put a bunch of safeguards in there, but if you guys see something, feel free to speak up. Tell us.
Counter guys, go to your counter managers. Counter managers, go to your branch managers.
Yeah.
Branch managers, go to the sales managers.
Push that
or
up.
salesmen.
Push that up. We need to hear it. If we're missing something and it could potentially hurt a customer relationship, we got to know.
And the other way, like if there's something that's going out the door for nothing.
Well, I mean, a salesperson is susceptible too. Like, hey, you got me on that last job. You going to take care of me on this one? Yeah, you do that too many times, and your profitability on that customer starts to really erode.
Yeah.
And it can get away from you before you even intentionally do it. So, yeah, if you see something, say something. We want to hear about it.
Yeah, please speak up.
So that kind of ties up what you're working on as far as pricing goes. You got anything else you want to say about that?
So it's one of our year goals for the company from the sales side is to get profitability up to that 26%. It's a big number. But if you look at our goal is $815 million this year. Mm-hmm. And if we raise profitability by 1%, it's almost real money.
It's a big number.
Yep.
So thank you all for your efforts and your help in making it so we can make our customers' business better every single day. Thank you, James, for the information. James is a wealth of knowledge, so if you guys see him out at the branches or if you get a hold of him, tap him for some information. This guy's been around a long time, and he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time.
Or if you just want to admire my beautiful locks and
if
gorgeous
you want a
beard.
picture with Gallagher, if you want him to smash some watermelons or anything with a gigantic hammer.
I'm going to give me a big hammer. Just go around and start smashing fruit.
That's your next Halloween costume.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for jumping in for some windshield time. We'll catch you down the road. See ya.
Thanks, guys.